Good morning. Happy Wednesday, 8th graders. I hope you are all wearing your Disney gear. You can't see mine, but I have on my Donald Duck shirt. And I hope you're all wearing your Disney gear for our virtual Spirit Week. I wanted to touch base because every lesson that I'm assigning from your workbook, I've been posting videos by a teacher named Mr. Morgan. So I just kind of identify them as the Mr. Morgan videos. And he has videos for every lesson for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade for the curriculum that we use. And so instead of re-recording videos for all of you when you can just find it on YouTube, I'm putting video tutorials up like this and review videos, and I'm letting you just get used to Mr. Morgan and one style of doing it from his videos, because I don't want you to feel alone in the instruction. I don't want you to feel like I'm doing this on my own and maybe I don't understand it and I can't come to office hours. And so this is just a great resource for you to complete the problems with some assistance. And so I've had some feedback that the videos might seem a little fast. He talks very quickly. And so I wanted to show you how to either speed up or slow down the rate of speaking on a YouTube video. On the flip side, those of you that don't feel as though you need to watch the entire video and do the problems with Mr. Morgan, you might just try them on your own first and then want to check your answers or check your work. And so speeding up the videos might be a great tool for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to pull up today's lesson, which is Unit 8, Lesson 3. And the link on Google Classroom takes you right to this video. And I'm just going to let you hear for a minute what normal sounds like on one of these videos.
Hi, this is Math 8, Unit 8, Lesson 3, called Rational and Irrational Numbers. So today we're really going to be focused on talking about irrational numbers and defining what those are today together. So here we go. And the first thing it says, let's talk.
All right. So when you're looking at the video, you will see this icon, which is settings. When you click on that, there's a couple different options. Okay. One of them would be to turn on some subtitles. So you could choose that English subtitle, and then you will notice as Mr. Morgan is speaking, you can actually see what he is saying as well. If you're in a shared space where there's a lot of other people, a lot of other noise going on, this might be an option for you. If you don't have headphones, you want to mute it. If you just want to make sure that as he's talking about it, you can visually see what that would look like if it were written, since we have to write a lot of our answers out in explanations. This is a great resource. So again, that's under settings and subtitles. So that's one option. The other one is the playback speed, which is what I was talking about before. So right now it's on normal. You can go a quarter of the speed all the way up until twice as fast. And so right now I'm just going to keep playing the video, and I'm going to go through some of these different speeds so that you can hear the difference. Okay.
Talk about positive solutions here. So we're finding a positive solution to the equation, meaning we're looking for a value of x here that I can square, or multiply by itself, and then arrive at a number like 36. So a number where it's an x value times another x value, and I end up multiplying it together to arrive at 36. And in some cases, if you know your perfect squares, this is going to be pretty easy for you to recognize that if I take a number like 6 and I multiply again by itself, 6 times 6, you end up with 36. And so solution, positive solution for this one is going to be x equals 36, right? And that's how that works there. It does want a positive solution, and that's just to help us kind of focus in on what we're learning about today. Yes, you could use a -6. If you saw that, that would be true as well, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So you could have a negative value of x there, but we want to look at positive ones, which can help us do some more things later on, okay? So if you saw that, awesome, but if not, that's okay. We're just looking at positive ones. So looking at number 2, same idea, but now we want to get to 9/4, right? So again, if you think about it, what you might want to think about is saying, okay, well, 9, what number can I multiply by itself to get to 9? Perhaps something like a 3 times a 3. That would get you at a 9, right? And then down on the bottom, we have a 4. So think about what two numbers will multiply together gives a 4. Well, again, 2 times 2 is 4. So in terms of an x value, right, if I split that down the middle, middle there like this, what I really have is I have 3 over 2, or
All right, so now you've had a chance to hear the difference, and you may notice that something like this, a quarter of the speed, maybe is not realistic. It's too slow. It makes it almost hard to understand the complete thought. And that twice as fast is really fast. So that might only be useful to you if you are catching on and Mr. Morgan did the first one with you and you feel like you can do 2, 3, and 4 yourself. And then you can quickly get to the later part of that activity, go back to normal speed, check your work, and move on. So you have a couple options there. Now, the last thing I wanted to remind you of is that you had 2 graded assignments this week. When I did the weekly overview, I talked about 2 graded assignments. The first of those is today. So far this week, you've been doing everything in your workbook, and there were 2 assignments that will go into the gradebook. The first one is an exit ticket for today, and that has one problem that's really focused on, or it's one problem, but it's broken into 2 parts, that really focuses on the information from lesson 1. And then there's a question that's broken into 3 parts that's really focused on what you learned in lesson 2. So we're talking square roots. And then this third lesson, which is talking about rational and irrational numbers. So there's the last question, you're just choosing which numbers are rational or which numbers are irrational, depending on the directions. And you just have to identify these types of numbers. So really make sure you're doing the lesson first and watching the video, checking your work, making sure you're doing everything well, all the way up through the practice problems. And then the last graded assignment for this week will come on Friday. And again, that is a quiz on Khan Academy on lessons 1 through 5. So this exit ticket today is really going to help us see where you are. It will go in as either complete or incomplete out of 8 points, but I have entered it as a quiz so you can actually get some feedback, see if your answers were correct or not. And that way you have an opportunity to come to office hours before your quiz on Friday and get help if there were some problems that you just truly didn't understand. So keep all of that in mind. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I hope to see you all in office hours soon.